forward to most about this season is seeing how well we compete with other teams and how much I've grown from last year to this year. Basketball is so important to me because it's always been my safe place. If I got stress or anything on my mind, whether it be 12 o'clock at night or 5 in the morning, I'll go get shots up and my mind is cleared. And I just love the game itself, the competitiveness of it all. When it's the best on the best, going head to head, that's what I love.
This year we'll really be looking for leadership from our two seniors, Brooklyn Luna and Lauren Kinnard, and we'll also need some of the younger players to step up. This year I think that we need to compete with a lot of the teams in our conference, and last year we lost a lot of games under 10 points, and I think that we need to try and win them this year.
In the summer of 2013, ex-CIA agent Edward Snowden was charged with 2 separate accounts of espionage. Followed by a charge for theft of government property, Snowden was interviewed by The Guardian in 2019.
In the 2013 moment, I very much was a person, the most powerful government in the world, wanted to go away. They didn't care whether I went away to prison, they didn't care about whether I went away into the ground, they just wanted to be gone, and they wanted me no longer speaking. But I'm not going to let any kind of concern for what makes my life easier, for what makes my life safer, allow me to be less free.
Snowden was later evacuated to Moscow.
And when I came here, I didn't understand any of this. I was terrified of this place because, of course, they were the great fortress of the enemy. You know, how do you think a CIA agent looks at Russia? And it was never my plan to be here. But with time, with open eyes, you can see that our presumptions about a place are almost always different from the reality of it.
Snowden's case is one of the most controversial cases to occur. Snowden can be deemed as a traitor on one end and a hero on another. The whistleblower is notorious for leaking highly classified information from the National Security Agency, for collecting records/information from millions of Verizon customers, and hacking foreign computers and sharing his findings with the general public.
I grew up with the understanding that the world I lived in was one where people enjoyed a sort of freedom to communicate with each other in privacy without it being monitored, without it being measured or analyzed or sort of judged by these shadowy figures.
Last September, Snowden stated that he would return to the States if he were guaranteed a fair trial. Snowden has once again returned to the headlines after he was granted permanent residence in Russia on the 23rd of October.
But it's not enough to believe in something. You have to be ready to stand for something if you want it to change. And so that is what I hope this book will help people come to decide for themselves. Are you ready for this to change?
So I got into bird watching because my grandpa was really into bird watching, and he could tell whatever bird was around just by seeing it or by hearing it. And when he passed away, I found that I would hear a bird and I would remember that I would usually say, "Hey Grandpa, what was that bird?" And then I didn't have that knowledge. I just relied on him. And so it was kind of a healing, it was kind of a way to stay connected with him. They're fascinating. They're fun to watch. They're always around. It's an easy hobby to get into. I'll never learn everything there is to know about birds. It's an endless learning pit. It's awesome. So birds are everywhere, and they're in so many different habitats, especially when you start paying attention to find them. I do bird watching all the time. When I'm driving, when I'm just walking on a normal trail. So we do bird watching all the time. I had a kid in one of my classes, and she was fast at all of her work. So I was always looking for something for her to do because she was fast. And she was into origami. And then I said, okay, I just threw something at her. Hey, make me a squirrel. And she got on her computer. She looked up a pattern, and she made a squirrel like that, fast. And so I was like, wait, you're telling me that origami, you can make anything out of paper? She's like, yeah, you can do that. I just kind of got into it. And so I had a good year where I was doing origami every week, learning different things, and they're fun. They're cute. They're ways that I found to like de-stress because you have to be so focused. It's kind of a brain puzzle that kind of pulls me out, and it's cute.
The team has progressed a lot throughout the season. In the very beginning, we were all very negative, and we did not work together well as a team. But here towards the end, and as we've been going through districts, we've worked together a lot more, and we're way more positive. I'd say Dalton has made huge improvements. He's gotten a lot better on the ball. He's way faster, and he's very aggressive. And then Jackson Rowden is a huge help to the team. Works very hard. Always going 100% the whole game.
I'm definitely reminiscent of past years. Like I remember my sophomore year, my first year playing, going to state, and then during that state game having like snowfall as I was, playing soccer on the field, and throwing snowballs with other players on the team afterwards. And I mean, even the next year, like moving through a new coaching situation and like just growing. Our main goal is to win districts. We have a decent shot, I think. New Covenant is our main tough opponent. We've lost to them before. I think we have a chance at beating them, but the odds definitely aren't in our favor. And then if we win districts, which is there's a slight possibility for it, but if we win districts, then we're just going to try to move as far as we can, maybe even get to state again. So.